For those of you who grew up in the 90s, especially as a teen, that music takes you all the way back to when you'd prop yourself down in front of the TV on Wednesday nights to find out what Kelly, Donna, Brenda, Brandon, Dylan, Steve, David, and Andrea were up to on American teen drama television series Beverly Hills 90210. Fun fact, before the show got the name we all know and love now, it was once titled Class of Beverly Hills. 90210, as I'll continue to refer to the show, which should not be confused with the 2008 version of that name, was created by Darren Star and produced by Aaron Spelling under his production company Spelling Television for Fox. The initial premise of the show was based on the adjustment and culture shock that twins Brandon and Brenda Walsh, played by Jason Priestley and Shannon Doherty, respectively, experienced when they and their parents, Jim, played by James Eckhouse, and Cindy, played by Carol Potter, moved from Minneapolis, Minnesota to Beverly Hills, California, as a result of Jim's job promotion. Fun fact, the Walsh house wasn't actually located in Beverly Hills. It was in Altadena, California, about 30 miles away. Looking for innovative programming for the 3-year-old Fox network, then Chairman and CEO Barry Diller phoned mega producer Aaron Spelling about doing a high school show. Screenwriter Darren Star told the New York Times in 2008 that he had the idea of doing a series that focused on real issues facing teenagers. He pulled inspiration from other productions like ABC drama 30-something that dealt with issues facing that demographic, and the John Hughes movie The Breakfast Club for how it told a story from the point of view of the characters. In the first episode, Brandon and Brenda begin attending West Beverly Hills High School. After some time, they befriend several classmates. The self-centered and promiscuous Kelly Taylor, played by Jenny Garth.
My name is Brenda. I'm Kelly.
Carefree and spoiled Steve Sanders, played by Ian Ziering.
Hey, Steve. Brandon, how you doing? Good. Nice car.
Smart and driven Andrea Zuckerman, played by Gabrielle Carteris.
Is Andrea Zuckerman around?
I am she.
Ditzy and virtuous Donna Martin, played by Tori Spelling.
Oh my God, I would die if my mom did that to me.
Give her a break, she's from out of town.
Brooding loner Dylan McKay, played by Luke Perry.
My name's Brandon Walsh.
Brandon Walsh. Scotch or Irish?
Both, actually. By way of Minnesota.
And younger and naive students, David Silver, played by Brian Austin Green, and Scott Scanlon, played by Douglas Emerson. In that first season, the teenage characters, aside from David and Scott, were said to be in the 11th grade, but due to the success of the show, their ages were revised to be 1 year younger in the second season, which essentially meant that they repeated their junior year. Fun fact, the fictional place and name of West Beverly High School was used because Beverly Hills High School, a real school in LA, would not allow the production to use its name. Filming for the school set scenes took place at Torrance High School, about 20 miles away. The theme song that you heard at the beginning of this video is actually the show's second one. The original theme song was only used a few times very early on, before being swapped out with the one that went on to become famous. That second one was done by composer John E. Davis. Initially, he was asked to write the background score for the series' 2-hour pilot. Thinking his job was done after that, he was surprised to get a call from Aaron Spelling a couple of days out from the premiere. Spelling had just played the episode for Fox, and the executives hated the theme, written by an unknown rock band. So he asked John to come up with something and send it to him. The very next day, he pulled an all-nighter and came up with a classic. Fun fact, while countless versions of John's theme have been heard throughout various episodes over the seasons, the one featuring the iconic hand claps came about in a very unintentional way. They ended up serving as mere filler for a gap. He didn't know what to do for that part of the song, so he thought it would be cool if all of the cast did a hand clap in unison. Each member of the cast had their own unique journey to getting on the show that would make them household names. Jenny had to audition multiple times for the role of Kelly and was the first to be cast. Taking the role also meant that she had to pass up a show on NBC, which she said was the scariest thing in the world, but she knew Spelling was a great producer. Gabrielle was living in New York and sleeping in a friend's bed because she didn't have any money. She repeatedly went back to the gigantic cattle call for the roles of both Brenda and Andrea. She ended up getting the latter role and was the oldest cast member. Gabrielle was 29 when she first began playing 16-year-old Andrea Zuckerman. Worried that she would be considered too old, she lied about her age. It was the press that eventually outed her. She told the whole story to Access Hollywood in 2011. They didn't know I lied. I actually talked to a lawyer about how I could sign these contracts and lie about my age and still be able to do the show. Is it okay? And yes, it is, as long as you just say you're over 21. Then a magazine, that I won't say, did an interview on the show with somebody else, and they went and asked my agent. I said I don't talk about my age, or whatever. They found it in the DMV illegally. So then they were printing it, and I thought, this is it. I'm gonna lose the job, there's no way. By that time, the show had been on long enough, so it was okay. Ian was roughly in the same boat as he was 26 when the show began. He told Entertainment Weekly in 2007, I just kept my mouth shut. I never talked about it. And I wasn't the oldest in the cast either. I just thought if they're going to buy it, I'm going to sell it. After being out in LA for a few months, things weren't working out for Ian, so he went back to New Jersey, where he got a job working in an aquarium store. The very next call he got was for 90210. He's also confessed to doing something very naughty during the audition process. When I went to pick up the script, there was a stack of 50 scripts. I stole them all. Screw everybody else. I needed a job. It's long been rumored that the casting directors had no idea that Tori, who auditioned under another name, was Aaron's daughter. She has admitted, though, that there may have been some nepotism at play. I heard about the show from my agent. She said, your dad is doing it. I was like, I haven't heard anything about it. I popped into his briefcase when he got home, and I was like, cool. I really wanted to play Andrea. I went in under a different name, then I got the part of Donna, which I'm sure had something to do with my dad. Fun fact, in the first season when Donna tries out for school DJ, she's referred to as Donna Morgan. Throughout the rest of the show, her name is Donna Martin. Shannon revealed to the New York Times in 2008 that she thought she'd done a horrible job in the audition after reading for the part of Brenda and was certain she'd blown her chance. However, the casting director came out, sort of winked at her, and told her not to count herself out. Luke auditioned for the role of Steve, but it eventually went to Ian before he was cast as Dylan. Fun fact, Dylan McKay was originally written for a story arc that would last just a few episodes, but Aaron Spelling was so pleased with Luke's performance that he decided to expand the part. Brian didn't take the process very seriously at all. I didn't know who Spelling was. I was always the kid who went into auditions like, is this gonna cut into my skateboarding time? Fun fact, during his 90210 days, Brian also tried to launch a hip-hop career. Brandon ended up being not only the last character cast, but done so at the last minute. Jason said he read for Spelling on a Thursday, got the job the next day, and was on the set shooting by the following Monday. In addition, Lyman Ward was originally cast as Jim in the pilot, but was replaced by James Eckhouse. Donna's mother was originally named Nancy Martin and played by Jordana Capra. When she was reintroduced in season 2, her first name changed to Felice and was played by Catherine Cannon. In the pilot episode, the role of Jackie Taylor was played by Pamela Galloway, and then by Anne Gillespie for the rest of the series. Terrence Ford and Arthur Brooks portrayed Dylan's father, Jack McKay, in 2 episodes before Josh Taylor assumed the role. Beverly Hills 90210 made its debut on October 4th, 1990, but it was far from an overnight success. All that changed thanks to 2 key moves: a season 1 finale that saw Brenda lose her virginity to Dylan, and the decision to begin airing the show's second season in the summer. By the end of season 2, the show had nearly doubled its audience. Fun fact, most of the filming during that second season at the Beverly Hills Beach Club took place in Santa Monica, at the old Sand and Sea Beach Club. It's the very same beach club that was also used during one summer season of Saved by the Bell. 90210 aired on Thursday nights at 9 for the first 2 seasons, and Wednesday nights at 8 for the rest of its run. The show quickly became a global pop culture phenomenon, complete with hysterical fans, mall riots, action figures, and its cast members, particularly Jason and Luke, became teen idols. Long before Twilight fans began the Team Edward, Team Jacob debate, teens were forced to choose whether they were Team Brandon or Team Dylan. As 90210 mania grew, tales of cast unrest began to emerge, primarily centering around Shannon's on and off the set antics. The tabloids latched on to her bad girl image, fans formed I Hate Brenda clubs, and in the spring of 1994, her character conveniently decided to pursue an acting career across the pond in London. Executive producer Charles Rosen didn't hold back to Entertainment Weekly, saying, "She had habitual lateness. Her lateness was appalling, and she had a callous attitude and indifference. She was clearly not very happy on this show anymore." Shannon's response? "There was definitely a time that I did not want to be there. I was unhappy. It sounds odd to say that I was on a hit show making a lot of money and I was unhappy, because it makes me sound unappreciative. I wasn't. It's just that the sacrifice at the time seemed too large to me. The sacrifice of a camera pointed in my face 24 hours a day while I was desperately trying to grow up, to figure out my spirituality, to figure out my boyfriends. I mean, I was a teenager." She also calls the lateness issue BS, since she says she can count on one hand the number of times she was late in 4 years. She chalked up a lot of the problems she had with people to petty jealousy. Jenny told the New York Times, "There was a lot of tension and unnecessary drama on the set, a certain amount of competition, and a certain, probably, anger about different salaries as the years progressed. People would find out how much someone was making, and then they'd be angry and want that. Or if you got days off in your contract, they'd want that. Nobody was brave enough to step in and set us straight, and have a serious talk with us about it. There was a lot of tension directed from one specific person, and that one specific person had to reap the consequences from that." Jason wrote in his memoir, "She really and truly did not give a shit. It was a very cool attitude until it wasn't." While reports pinned her departure on her deteriorating attitude and intensified friction with the other cast members, executive producer Larry Molan claimed that the thing that really got Shannon kicked off the show was that she cut her hair halfway through shooting the season finale without telling anyone, thus throwing off the continuity of the episode. Tori put the final nail in the coffin by going to her father herself on behalf of the cast to have Shannon fired. In season 5, the production accommodated Gabrielle's pregnancy by reluctantly writing a pregnancy storyline for Andrea. She'd floated her baby plans to producers, and they asked her to wait, but she didn't want to do that. The producers were unhappy with the more adult direction of the character, and as a result, she was written off the show at the end of that season. Other characters that became part of the main cast as the years rolled by were Peach Pit owner Nat Busicchio, played by Joe E. Tata, Andrea's boyfriend turned husband, Jesse Vasquez, played by Mark Damon Espinosa, Steve's girlfriend, Claire Arnold, played by Kathleen Robertson, Dylan turned Steve turned David's girlfriend, Valerie Malone, played by Tiffany Thiessen, Donna's boyfriend, Ray Pruitt, played by Jamie Walters, Steve's girlfriend, Carly Reynolds, played by Hilary Swank, Donna's boyfriend, Noah Hunter, played by Vincent Young, a Beverly Beat employee turned Steve's girlfriend turned wife, Janet Sosna, played by Lindsay Price, Kelly's boyfriend, Matt Durning, played by Daniel Cosgrove, and David's girlfriend, Gina Kincaid, played by Vanessa Marcel. One person out of the bunch that really went through it on and off camera would have to be Jamie. After starring in another Spelling production, the musical drama series The Heights, which flopped, Spelling invited him to join the cast of 90210 as Donna's boyfriend in season 5. That plot arc soon turned dark, as Ray became physically abusive. However, it was all part of a plan. The writers wrote an episode where Ray went to rehab, and audiences would learn that he'd been abused as a child and was caught up in the cycle. But many viewers were furious, and the production company received tons of letters saying that Donna was stupid to stay with Ray. Spelling didn't want Donna, and by extension his daughter Tori, to look stupid, so he demanded that Ray be written out of the show and Jamie fired. Larry Molan said that the incident was devastating for Jamie since fans couldn't separate fact from fiction. "We left him as being a beater, which stayed with him, unfortunately. People thought he was a beater. It was just terrible." The character did eventually come back to redeem himself in season 7. Now, here's some more fun facts about Beverly Hills 90210. Scott, who was the quiet, unpopular friend of David during the first 2 seasons of the show, was written out because Douglas decided to quit acting and left the show to enroll in junior college. He then joined the U.S. Air Force. In his 2014 memoir, Jason Priestley, a Memoir, he let his readers in on a little secret. During that famous protest in which Donna's classmates face off against the administration to make sure that she receives her diploma right alongside them, they're not actually yelling, "Donna Martin graduates." At the urging of Jason, they were yelling, "Donna Martin masturbates." How was he able to get away with that? He knew the dialogue was going to be re-looped later. Another juicy tidbit from Jason's memoir was all the backstage hookups. He even had his first full-fledged adult relationship on the show with Christina Leese, who played Emily Valentine. They dated for 5 years. Tori would also confirm that she had a quick summer fling with Jason, dated Brian, and kissed Luke once. Donna being the naivest character in the crew, and that her commitment to abstinence was a major plot point throughout the series, was probably no coincidence considering who the actress's father was. Larry Molan told Vulture, "The thing that was always at play in the Donna story was that Donna was played by the daughter of Aaron Spelling. The minute we'd go in to pitch stories about an episode, he'd ask, 'What's Donna doing this week?' Even though Donna wasn't one of the main characters in the inner circle, she was a supporting character really in the beginning. You always had to start what the episode was about with, 'What was Donna doing?' That's what the old man wanted to hear." It was sweet. It was actually very endearing, his admiration for her. Tori was really out there. She was just enjoying herself. So even though the old man couldn't control her, he could control Donna Martin. The first season episode where Brenda loses her virginity to Dylan caused major outrage from many parents. They were offended by the fact that she suffered no consequences and showed no remorse for the act. After a slew of angry phone calls to the network, Fox decided to placate upset viewers by featuring a pregnancy scare for the couple in the second season as a means of punishing the teenagers for their decision. When Tiffany joined the cast, her and Brian were a real-life couple. Apparently, he wasn't too thrilled with her landing the role, which was also offered to Drew Barrymore, Alicia Silverstone, and Alyssa Milano, since he didn't want to see her hooking up with the rest of the show's male cast. Shannon wasn't the only female star that Jenny had an issue with. Tiffany, who was brought in as her replacement character, said she didn't get the warmest reception when she joined the cast, and the girls were not very nice to her. Valerie's pot smoking didn't come all that natural to Tiffany. She told Entertainment Weekly that they wanted her to roll a joint to drive home the point that she was a pro at it. Tiffany couldn't do it though, so the person you see is actually somebody else's hand. Tiffany wasn't Brian's only serious relationship with a 90210 co-star. After dating Tiffany for several years, he dated Vanessa Marcil, with the couple going on to have a child together before splitting. Apparently, few things ticked off Aaron Spelling more than a cast member coming back from a break with a new hairstyle. His publicist, Kevin Sasaki, told The Hollywood Reporter, "If someone came back after hiatus with a completely different haircut, Aaron would go crazy." His own daughter, Tori, confirmed as much, adding, "And if you watch, there are never sunglasses on 90210. He'd always say, 'Let them see it in your eyes before they hear it in your words.' Luke Perry's famous squint was probably because my dad wouldn't let him wear sunglasses." In Jenny's memoir, she revealed that she began a private struggle with anxiety at the age of 19. "I felt comfortable, almost comforted by all of the workers buzzing around me during the day. But after hours, I'd find myself getting anxious when strangers approached me, and so simple tasks like going to the grocery store or the mall or to get gas became overwhelming exercises in having to be on when my natural inclination was to shut down and not interact with anyone. I began to suffer a level of anxiety that was, at times, nearly paralyzing. When the panic attacks started to kick in, I became even more withdrawn." When the show's characters began attending the then fictitious California University in the 4th season, the scenes around campus were actually filmed at Occidental College in Eagle Rock. That same season, Ian had a bit of a rock star-style breakdown. In an episode that saw him wrongly accused of rape, he was given some serious material to work with while attempting to clear his good name. But they edited out so much powerful stuff. That was like the first time I really got some great words to say, and I workshopped them and I studied. I brought game, and it never made it through the edit. Feeling betrayed, he admitted that he tore the dressing rooms apart. We all worked so hard for our characters, and to not even get a heads up? I'm not a volatile person. I have a very long fuse. But after working so hard on this particular episode, I just didn't feel like they were with me on this one. Hilary Swank, who played Carly Reynolds, a single mom, and Steve Sanders' love interest during the show's 8th season, was originally contracted for 2 years, but she was fired after just over a dozen episodes. In a 2014 interview with Conan O'Brien, she admitted that she was devastated when she was let go. The experience turned out to be a blessing in disguise, though, as she got the lead role in Boys Don't Cry just months later, and won an Oscar and a Golden Globe for her performance. In addition to his starring role, Jason also served as a producer and director on the series. But when he made the decision to leave toward the end of the show's run, no one really acknowledged his departure. He spoke about it in a 2014 interview with The Guardian. "When I left the show, it was so anticlimactic. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. It was the 4th episode of the 9th season. I did the first scene of the morning, literally with this actor who was brought in to replace me, and that was it. I hugged the crew, picked up my box of stuff, went to my car, and drove away. There was no party, no nothing. I felt like I'd wasted 9 years of my life." He later said he regretted exiting the show early. While reportedly ratings for the 10th season declined to an average of 10 million viewers per episode, over 25 million people tuned in to watch the final episode, which aired on May 17, 2000. CBS DVD has released all 10 seasons on DVD in various regions including North America, Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, and the Caribbean. Due to music licensing issues, most of the original music has been replaced, as well as some episodes are edited from their original broadcast versions. In 2013, Paramount released Beverly Hills 90210, the complete series, on DVD in North America, with extra bonuses not available on the season sets. Several spin-offs related to the series have come and gone over the years, most notably Melrose Place, which ran from 1992 to 1999, and a 2008 version of the original, simply titled 90210, which ran until 2013. On March 4, 2019, Luke Perry passed away due to complications after suffering a stroke. He was 52 years old. Around the same time, it was announced that a 6-episode reboot had been ordered by Fox and that the show would be titled BH 90210. The revival premiered on the network in August and was canceled 3 months later. In 2021, Paramount released Beverly Hills 90210, the Ultimate Collection, on DVD in North America, which includes the 2019 reboot along with the season sets and bonus extras from the previous release.